Hello everyone, welcome to RU Podcast, the real talk with future builders. And I am Pramad Thegde. Today we have a guest who is really working towards building rural empowerment. And he is a serial entrepreneur, a co-founder of Merit Track, One Bridge, the game, and he is known for his rural development and rural building. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Pramad. Lovely to be here.
So, before we get into proper professional questions, I would really like to hear your student life and um, who was Madan Padki as a student and uh, your memories and maybe from college early career, which is shaped your worldview and stayed with you till today.
Sure, Pramad. I appreciate this conversation. Two, three thoughts from the college days, right? One was, of course, I was fairly engaged in academics. I knew that I had to get some minimum grades to be eligible for placements and all that. So I used to somehow crack that. But as Einstein said famously, I never let my college interfere with my education. I realized even in my engineering and MBA that a lot of learning happens outside the college. And fortunately, I happened to be in Mumbai or Bombay then. And every day off, without fail, I used to go to business hubs like Nariman Point or Bandra then or Powai or wherever. And I used to just go meet businesses. I used to go interview them. I used to go interact with them, understand what drives their business, how is it going. And I would say a lot of my entrepreneurial learnings came from that. Right. Secondly, even in engineering, I was very active in various extracurricular activities. Right. I was the president of the Road Club. I used to be in the college tennis team. I used to be in the college dramatics team. I think as students, if we engage ourselves with as many networks, people as possible, there's a lot of learning. Right? Learning how to present ideas, learning how to take failures, learning how to bounce back.
Yeah, true.
And I think especially colleges like RV provide a phenomenal platform to do and explore much beyond just studies.
Yeah, true.
Like I think you guys were at Startup Mahakumbh.
Yeah.
I think that experience will stay for a long time to come.
Yes. So, from working in a corporate world to founding impactful ventures, what was that turning point where you felt this is not enough? I need to do more. What does the success mean to you today and versus past in your 20s?
Sure. I think there are two realizations, Pramant. One is that as you start looking at the corporate world, you start realizing sometimes how constrained your thinking and your playground is, right? And as an entrepreneur, my dream was that I'll be in control of my destiny. I don't need anybody to tell me what I need to do. I'll do it myself. That was a defining thing for me to say, be in control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
And build something that interests you, that serves to your passion.
Yeah.
And the second thing as I've gone along is realizing that each of us have infinite potential. And it is a waste to use that potential only for oneself. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu, as they say, to me has been one of my guiding inspirations to say, how can you work for the betterment of everybody around you because you have that potential?
Yeah.
And if the world around you benefits, you benefit automatically. Right? So I think these two dimensions, if I were to think from my 20s to now, has been that you drive your own agenda and there's a larger superpower.
Yeah.
The Supreme, who guides each of your actions, and that's about serving everybody.
Very nice, sir. And you have built Merit Track, One Bridge, and co-founded Game. What that connects all these dots, sir? And what are the core mission that drives you work even now?
Perfect. So you take One Bridge, Merit Track, the Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, or the Head Foundation that I co-founded,
Yeah.
or my work at TIE, the common dots that connects all of this is youth, entrepreneurship, and unleashing the power of youth and entrepreneurship for the betterment of the country.
Yeah.
Right? So you look at TIE, our programs like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
TIE U is about enabling youngsters like you to
Yeah.
think entrepreneurially.
It's giving a huge opportunity for all the youngsters.
Exactly. And my belief is that if every youth out there thinks entrepreneurially, is able to contribute not just to building their own ventures,
Yeah.
but also building the country,
Ah.
that's what will make the dream of our Viksit Bharat
Yeah, true.
available, right? I mean,
Yeah.
to really come true,
Yeah.
right? In 25 years, God knows where we will be.
Yeah.
But you will be at the prime of your careers,
True.
right? If we can build an army of entrepreneurs like you, who can not just build big businesses, but create jobs, create wealth for the country, I think that's what drives me.
You speak often about Bharat, not just India. What just inspired you to focus on rural entrepreneurship and small town empowerment?
Yeah, so it's been an evolution. You know, when I started off Meritrack as well, we were the first ones to democratize recruitment in the sense that we took recruitments from tier 1 city to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. I started seeing the power of youth who are looking for jobs there, successfully applying here and saying, why can't we take jobs to those cities?
True.
Right? Why should only people migrate? The second thing I realized about Bharat was how much of hunger there was, how much of aspiration there was, right? And how much of opportunities there were to create businesses and jobs there itself. So at Headed Foundation, we discovered the potential of youth. At OneBridge, I've discovered the potential of business opportunities. At GAME, I'm discovering the potential of micro enterprises in each of the rural areas. Right? It is but natural that if India has to grow, Bharat has to grow. Gandhiji famously said the soul of India resides in its villages. Right? And somehow I feel that the opportunities that an MBA student like you in a Bangalore has, a student in a Koppal or a Gadag does not have the same kind of opportunities. Though potential-wise, all of you are equal.
Yeah, true.
So how do we make those opportunities available in Bharat so that India develops as a whole rather than only in pockets?
Yeah.
Is what drives me.
True, sir. And what is the one story or moment from working in rural India that deeply moved you or changed your perspective about the business?
Oh, there have been lots of moments. Moments where I've felt that, aha moments where you say, oh man, this is crazy. Like,
creativity can be seen in rural pages. And
exactly, right? Where at Headed Foundation, we take low educated, zero educated village youth, and in 6 months, we're able to transform them to be English speaking, digital illiterate knowledge professionals. The power that they bring to make a difference. I've seen such youth go on and become community leaders. They've contested Zilla Panchayat elections. They've won the elections. Many of them have gone on to set up NGOs. Many of them have gone on to set up, various small businesses. So the unlocking the power of youth to go contribute back to their community as change makers is very powerful. I've seen several stories of that. And I've seen several entrepreneurs who are applying their creativity, as you said, to problem statements that you don't even figure out how to solve. And suddenly they're solving them.
Yeah.
And of course, use of technology. Today, every other person out there has a smartphone, has a social media account, has access to the web, which makes it so powerful to take tools like AI into the rural to make a difference to their communities itself.
You have said it before also, like Indians are not job seekers, Indians are job creators.
Yeah.
But how do we translate that into action in colleges, rural belts and beyond there?
I think the biggest mind block that we have is our own mindsets. Like Pramod, you were sitting in a entrepreneurship workshop.
Yeah.
Imagine if every college in the country were to have entrepreneurial thinking workshops like what we are having today.
Yeah, true.
And I began our interaction today by saying, I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah. It's really mean to us. And
yeah, I mean, imagine if every kid in any college stood up and said, I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah. People hesitate to say.
People hesitate and they're fearful, they're scared. If you can support that thinking, Now, whether you become an entrepreneur or not is a secondary thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can think that I control my own destiny, that I'm capable,
Yeah.
that I can make things happen, makes the whole thing very powerful.
Yeah. With AI, tech, and automation rising fast, what kind of skills do you believe Indian needs to truly be future ahead?
So I've thought about it and written a lot about this.
Yeah.
I think there are 4 C's
Ah.
that will stand the test of time irrespective of what AI comes or not. Okay, which are critical skills for every youth. The first C is confidence. That each one of us have to have the confidence to say, I am ready, I believe in myself, I'm ready to rise up to any equation. The second C is communication.
Yeah.
You might have all the confidence in the world, but if you can't stand up and communicate, it's not about English, it can be any language, but your ability to communicate your ideas is critical. The third C is what I call as curiosity or creativity. That you need to always ask the question, why is it happening?
Yeah.
What is driving it? And how can I be creative there?
Humble to learn every time.
Right? Humble to learn and apply creative thoughts. Because AI can never match that creativity.
Yeah.
Human creativity is immense.
Yeah.
Right? And the last C is around compassion. Right? How do you feel for the people around you to say, yes, I have to solve these problems?
Yeah.
So if you go with confidence, with communication, with creativity and compassion,
Yeah.
those becomes core inner skills. The external skills are another 4 C's. Okay, I call it as job creators of jobs. You have to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have to be a climate krantikari. We are having massive challenges in our planet, and I want every youth to be a climate krantikari.
Yeah.
The third C is all youth have to be constitutional protectors. Okay, Constitution is the only beacon that we have.
Yeah.
And each of us have to do our bit to protect and preserve the Constitution. And lastly, I wish that each young person out there becomes a community builder. We need more leaders, not just job creators, right? We need community leadership. And that I believe in the power of youth.
Very nice. So, how do we stop treating education and entrepreneurship as a different path? And instead of embedded entrepreneurial thinking right from college itself.
Exactly. See, again, Pramath, if you go back in history, 200, 300 years ago, mathematics was considered as an esoteric art. Everybody thought mathematics is only for the elite. Only a few people were to do mathematics. In fact, in the 1800s, 1600s, 1700s, there was something called as abacusist in Europe that used to go and help solve mathematical problems.
Yeah, in an easy way.
Right? But what happened in the 1900s, mathematics started making its way into our curriculum.
Yeah.
Today, every kid from first standard learns mathematics.
Yeah. It is not a different thing to learn.
Exactly. So imagine the same thing for entrepreneurship. If every school kid, right from first grade, were to start learning principles of entrepreneurship, it's an essential democratized skill.
Like a subject like environment science.
Exactly. And a lot of entrepreneurship like math is learning by doing.
Yeah.
You can't theoretically solve a math problem. You have to do it and solve it.
Yeah.
Similarly, entrepreneurship can never be taught in a classroom. You can teach the principles, but you have to go apply it outside.
True. And sir, you have worked in impact policies and innovations. What kind of mindsets do you think 20-something founder must develop today to lead future?
So, again, goes back to some of the 8 C's, but if I were to look at it from a founder, from an entrepreneur, 3 critical mindsets. One is that I can do it.
Yeah.
That to say that come whatever is the challenge, I'll face it. 2, that I'm not doing it only for myself. Of course, I want to earn money, but I'm doing it for a larger good. Right? And 3, your ability to infect others to follow same journeys. We have to create more role models and celebrate.
Yeah.
right? So any youth who can go out there and say, I will solve it, I will be at it, lage raho,
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the larger purpose,
Ah.
right? And I will be a votary for it.
Yeah. I want to deliver it to the world.
Yes, that is critical.
Hmm. And how important are values and ethics in purpose-driven entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
especially when there is temptation to chase fast money and growth?
beautifully said. Purpose-driven entrepreneurship is the perfect word that you used,
Hmm.
because I think entrepreneurship without purpose is hollow,
Huh.
and a purpose without being entrepreneurial is useless.
Yeah.
Right? The moment you have your core purpose defined,
Huh.
things will fall into place. Right? As you said, why do people chase success? Because sometimes there's no purpose.
Yeah.
Your only purpose is I want to make money.
Yeah.
Right? I want to get rich fast.
Yeah.
And with that purpose is not there, you start cutting corners.
Yeah.
Right? Somehow you'll say, oh, I got to get faster,
Yeah.
rich faster than this guy.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah, true.
And the moment purpose is decoupled from entrepreneurship, things can go off the rails.
Yeah, true. Sir, I think we have proposed a business plan OZ.
Yeah.
And even we are working on the startup called Verome. Verome means wellness and aroma,
Right.
where we are aiming to deliver lactose-free milk.
Right.
Lactose, we do not call it as milk, we call it as extract,
Sure.
plant-based extract to the world.
Nice.
Where already existing milks and extracts are very costly and not affordable to all the general of people.
Right.
And we are making different varieties out of that extract, like all seasonal milk shakes, and also some paneer and many other line of products from that extra plant extract. It is a great combination of grains which which is binding with all the other materials for milkshakes and producing milks. And this is our innovation. And if I want to pitch in front of you as an investor, what are the three things you look as an investor?
See, this idea, the way you explained it. Remember, an investor has a different view. Not all businesses are investable.
Yeah.
Right? As an investor, I would look for 3-4 things. One, is the idea unique?
Yeah.
Right? Does it have a differentiated value? 2, is the market size large enough? Right? Are you playing in a large market?
Yeah.
3, in some point of time, does your business model be profitable? Right? What does the money that you can make look like? And of course, money and impact.
Yeah.
If I'm an impact investor, I also look at the impact. And 4th, do I trust you as a team? Finally, it boils down to trust.
Yeah.
Right? Am I comfortable with you as the founder, entrepreneur? And do I believe and trust that you can deliver?
Yeah. So finally, it will become more like a friendship or a relationship than investment.
Because finally, once I've invested, you and I have to work together.
Yeah.
And finally, can I trust you as a team? Right? Because end of the day, you might have the best of the product, the most profitable business model.
Yeah.
But if I am not able to work together with you, not able to trust you to deliver, I'm unlikely to make that investment.
More than an investment, building a relationship and bonding which we can, or
exactly,
possibility to build.
Because the real journey begins after the investment.
Yeah.
Right? Finally, all of us have to get an exit.
Yeah.
Right? And if I don't trust you and I can't work with you, or we can't work together, it's vice versa also. You don't like me as an investor. It won't happen.
From both the ways, it should happen.
Exactly.
True, sir. And is there any one mantra or a gyan you would like to give every student entrepreneurs in India? What it would be?
I would just say, lage raho munna bhai. Okay, it's a journey. I don't think there's an end to it. Entrepreneurship is not a destination. It's a journey. You might start doing something today. You will try. You will pivot. You will try a few things. Maybe you'll come out with a new idea. So I think persistence and perseverance is very important.
Yeah.
There is nothing called as an overnight success. Right? Success definition itself is different for different people.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have seen work is when you're passionate about the purpose and you persist. So find your purpose.
Yeah.
Pursue.
Thank you so much, sir. And this wraps up the inspirational chat with Madan Padke, sir. Thank you so much for your story and your vision.
Thank you,
Kumar.
Pramath. Loved the conversation.
Yeah.
And more power to you and to all youngsters like you
Thank
to
you.
make a difference to our country.
Definitely helped us and inspired us for taking this future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.